Sunset falling on the news so slow, where the train went home and the stories flow. From Tryon Palace to the streets we roam. Yeah, this place ain't just a town, it's home. Yeah. This is a golden hour, where the light hits right, where New Bern shines in that coastal light. Every voice, every story, every dream out loud. Yeah, we're lifting up this city proud. This is a golden hour. Well, it ain't golden. Yeah. Sunset falling on the news so slow, where the tram winds home and the stories flow. From Tryon Palace to the streets we roam. Yeah, this place ain't just a town, it's home. Yeah, this is a golden hour. Who I am, who I am, who I am. This is the golden hour. Yeah.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Golden Hour. We took last week off, and I probably should have announced that somewhere, but I did not. I just took it off. So welcome back. I'm super excited for today's show and our guest. I was just telling him that I had some new listings popped up that I was super excited to share with you guys, and didn't make a graphic. So we're right back to 443 Peregrine because it's the only graphic I currently have made. But this one's a 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath. It is almost done. It just needs some touch-up paint, and it is ready to go for the new buyers. But it's listed at $359,900 with a motivated seller who is ready to get it going. So I do suggest contacting me or your realtor if you have one and going and checking it out because it is a fabulous house. Everybody, I am super excited to introduce to you guys today a friend of mine and a colleague, Mr. Scott Allenspach. Hey, Scott.
Hey, Lene, how you doing today?
I am great. How are you?
Good, good. Did you enjoy your lovely vacation on Okotoks?
It went really fast.
Doesn't every vacation do
Oh
that?
my gosh, it's ridiculous. But it was fabulous. It is our favorite place, mostly because, you just can't do anything. And so you're forced into a wonderful relaxation. And now that my kids are older, I'm just like, go do something. And they can get on their bikes and they go to the stores and they do, I don't have to be there every 2 seconds. So it was fabulous.
I still think it's like a hidden gem that a lot of people have not visited. And it's fun the minute you get on that ferry. And then when you get off the ferry and you can rent a golf cart or just drive to your Airbnb or hotel and then just crash. And it's still got that small island vibe that you don't get anywhere else. Like, I love the Outer Banks and that's a part of it, but there's a whole different feeling getting on that ferry and just, cruising for the 2 hours. So
as soon as you get on, I was telling Aaron, I don't relax until I'm actually on the ferry because there's so many things that could go wrong. And then once I'm on it and they start pulling away, it's like but I'll tell you, we had pretty much all of New Bern there. I ran into Carla Abbey. Of course, she's at Emerald Isle now. Charles Ward was there.
Yeah.
And then, gosh, my brain has just left me. Cooper. I think it was Brent Keeper was there too. Like there was just like so many. And I was like, well, apparently all of New Bern has decided we're going to go to Okokoke this week. And so that was fun too. Like actually knowing people who
Yeah.
were there.
And pro tip for anyone who hasn't done it, book your reservation with the ferry so you
Immediately.
know you have a time to get on, because you could sit there for a couple hours waiting for the next ferry,
Mhm.
or miss the one because it's so full. And
Yep.
then also when you're coming back, that's the key part. You don't
Yeah.
want to be stuck in Ocracoke
But nowhere
way
to
too
stay.
long, and then
Nowhere
you
to stay. When we
yeah.
left, so we planned this in the beginning of the year. Well, they don't release like the ferry reservations for like 60 days, maybe. And so 60 days I was there and it was already almost full. And so I panicked. And then like right before we went, I was like, I did do that, right? Because that was like 3 months ago. And I was like, did I make us a reservation? But when
Yeah.
I get on and there's like this time there was lines in the standby, and I have anxiety for you. I was like, you ain't getting on no ferry today.
Not at all, not on that busy
Can't
week.
handle it. But anyways, it's horrible. Nobody go. Nobody infiltrate it. It's fine. It's great. They got hit with Dorian really, really horribly. And they need all of the people to come visit and eat and shop and support their economy more than ever. Jolly Roger just opened back up since it got destroyed during Dorian,
Oh, wow.
a month ago. And so we ate there and I got a pretty gorgeous view of the Silver Lake. But yeah, it was great. So thank you
There's
for
good
asking.
fishing out there too. So if you want to go out there, some of the boats were scoring pretty big in the Big Rock tournament this year. So
Mhm.
that was
Yeah,
just really cool to see.
it's
So
fantastic. You can charter a boat. A friend of mine did that last week, actually. They had a blast. So, anywho, now on to you. So, you have gone from real estate to now being the regional director of philanthropy
yes.
over at the Boys and Girls Club. So, I want you just to start with for someone who's never heard of the Boys or Girls Club, what is it? We've heard, let me rephrase, like, I think everybody's heard of it, but I don't think anybody truly knows what it is.
Yeah, absolutely. So Boys and Girls Club started back in 1860 in Hartford,
What?
Connecticut. So yeah, so it's
No.
been around a long, long time. So it started out as just, I believe, three ladies got together and wanted to take some kids off the street and keep them out of trouble. And then it grew from there to Boys and Girls Club of America, which is our, big umbrella
Mm-hmm.
under what we call here in Eastern North Carolina, Boys and Girls Club of the Coastal Plain.
Mm-hmm.
So here we started in 1969 out of Pitt County, and it was just a one little site. It's grown now to where this year we are in 9 counties and 22 clubs,
Wow.
and we serve over 2,300 kids in our after school program. So we run two programs, which is an after school program that does the school calendar, and then we have a summer program. So I grew up not in a club, but I played a lot of basketball as a kid and played on some travel teams and was always playing a tournament in a Boys and Girls Club back in New Jersey. So a lot of people relate that Boys and Girls Club is just for for underprivileged children, and it is around basketball. And
Mhm.
I will say, yes, we have basketball courts, but it's much more than just dropping your kid off and let them play basketball all day long. So we have amazing programs, amazing staff I mean, some of our staff have been with us for over 30 years. So it's really exciting. And we have a lot of great stuff going on in our region. So, yeah.
That's awesome. So, what is the overall mission for your organization other than
Yeah.
keeping off the streets? I mean, you made that like in passing, but what's their mission as a whole?
Yeah. So the mission on the website is to enable all young people, especially those who need us the most, to reach their full potential as productive, caring, and responsible citizens. So
Okay.
that is a broad statement, and we try to strive for that every day. When I meet with donors, because like you mentioned, I'm the regional director of philanthropy for 3 of the 9 counties. So I cover Beaufort County, Craven, and Carteret County. And I love living here in New Bern because it's about halfway to both. But we first want to make sure our kids are safe. So we have extremely high safety standards. We get all the accreditations through Boys and Girls Club of America, and then locally with all the different rules. But then we want the kids to be safe. We want them to be fed, and we want them to thrive in whatever club or interest they have. So I have a little one now, as you know. He's a little 10-month-old, and he's a little too young for our club. But I've seen and heard that a lot of public schools have been pulling away from things that I grew up with in public school. For instance, like home ec classes and gardening, like an ag class. They
Mhm.
just don't have the budgets to have that type of extracurricular stuff. So in our clubs, every club has a different kind of feel to it. We have a Lego club down, I believe, in Farmville or Aden. We have a garden club here in New Bern. We have step teams and choirs and basketball teams and all of the things that make that club unique. But we have programs that are staples across our footprint. So we'll talk about after school first, and then we can jump into the summer. So a typical day for a kid anywhere from 6 to 18 would get picked up out of school or get dropped off at our club right after school, and they would put their backpack up and they start with a meal. So we believe that every kid cannot thrive until they're full or until they've had a meal. Some of our kids, which is sad to say, this is one of the meals that they're going to get, and maybe the last meal they get on a Friday afternoon, because they're not going to get their next meal until school on Monday. So, which is sad, and people don't see that in all in the towns that we live in or that we serve as real estate agents. So they get off the bus, they get a full meal, and then they're going to go into their power hour, which, don't tell anybody. It's a homework time. So, and we have dedicated staff and counselors to help them with their homework, and just to make sure that they're staying academically successful so they can move from their grade level and move on. And a lot of people, I mean, in today's world, families don't sit at a dining room table like probably we used to in the past, where you get home from school, you did your homework at the dining room table, and then mom and dad brought a meal to you and you ate. And it was the dreadful thing when I was a kid of dad asking me, "So what did you learn today? What was difficult today? And what can you do better tomorrow?" And I'm like, those were the three staple questions that I had in my household. And I dreaded it every time, and we couldn't get around it. But some of our kids, I mean, we've done statistics that say if they didn't have our program, they would be going home at 7 or 8 years old to an empty house because their one parent or both parents are working
Mhm.
second shift or longer shifts to provide for the family. So, I mean, I could not imagine having my 8-year old at home by himself for 3 or 4 hours. So,
Mhm.
this is our clubs are designed to have a safe place, and then you can pick them up later. So, after the power hour, they go into programs that we create through STEM activities and our clubs. And then we are teaching certain things for kids to grow not only in the academic success, but as a citizen and hopefully a contributing factor to society down the road. So it's really exciting to see kids make. I mean, I've got a 3D printout. This is a cool little 3D
Oh, put
hedgehog
it
looking
a little
thing.
more. There you go. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's horrible.
So we have 3D printers at a lot of our clubs, and they can, program that and make stuff like that. Behind me is an art project that I got one of the ladies here, Allie, with ENC Signs, created the logo on a thing, and then they hand printed their hands all over it. So it's really cool. And you get to see these kids thrive and also grow. I have a million stories from our youth development professionals that I can share, and we've got plenty of time. But it's exciting to go into the blue door and see these kids get out of their shell a little bit and enjoy being a kid, but also keep doing the work necessary to hopefully graduate and move on to either secondary schooling or into the workforce. So.
So, one of the questions I do have for you is membership. As far as that, is that open to everybody, or are there certain qualifications or income requirements for people to be a part?
Great question. So no, there is no income screening. There is a small application fee, and then you have to hold your spot. And membership is it changes over time, but right now I can tell you that for the full academic school year in most of our counties, it's either $250 or less per child,
Now,
and
is
that
that the whole year or monthly?
that's 250 for the whole school year. So from August 20, whatever date they start, all the way through May / a little bit of June, they're paying $250 for all of that. That includes meals, that includes our programs, and that includes all of the things. And some of our teens even get to go do some college tours or, go to community college and such. So it's really very affordable because my brother has a son, my nephew, and he's paid, $200 a month or, $100 a week for after school care. And we do have buses that each county is different. So if you're ever interested, definitely look at our website, bgccp.com, because we have different counties with different school districts that help us or that don't help us. So for instance, here in New Bern, we pick up from 3 different schools. We're looking to expand that, but school buses and gas are expensive. And we also have to have not only the driver, but another staff on the bus to make sure everything is safe. So we go a little bit above the normal standard to have a monitor on the bus at all times as well, because we know that that could be a little bit of a drive, but also make sure the kids from 6 to 18 are taken care of. So but $250 for the whole school year is insane. I think is like super cheap. I'm not there yet, but it's exciting. And then we cap it at $400 for a family. So if you have 3 kids, we're going to cap it at that 400, and you can have them all go to the club.
So if you
It's
had
really
6
exciting.
kids, it'd be still $400 if you sent all 6 kids.
Yes. And then we do have full scholarships. I mean, so we definitely have no wealth screening. So I know a very lucrative real estate agent in Carteret County sends his kid there because A, the kid loves it, and B, it's another avenue for them to get more work done on that, after school. And the gentleman does extremely well as a real estate agent, and he's allowed to come to the club as long as there's spots available. So it's really cool to see all the different types of people coming in. But if $250 is a lot for a family, we can have it off conversation to see how we can help them. And we do have some full scholarships available where, I mean, we've worked with RCS here in New Bern, and if a family's really struggling and has moved into the shelter there, but needs some care for their adult to get to go to work and things, we can work with that. So there are those one-offs, but we can definitely meet people where they're at and make it happen. So we want the kids to be safe, and we want the kids to not fall behind and to eventually move on to whatever they feel comfortable with in the future.
I really love that you guys help them with their homework there so that when they do go home, it's one less thing the parents have to do. Like they can be with their kid, they can hang out, they can family time versus, well, no, you've been here all day, I've been working, now we got to sit down and do 2 hours of homework.
Well, I mean, and then too, I've talked to some people, some of the parents, they don't have a great education. So when their kids are getting older, like the parents can't help because they are not there themselves. So like, I mean, that's a difficult thing when you have a 5th grader coming home saying, Mom or Dad, can you help me with my homework? And they don't know how to do it. So like we have the staff, we have some amazing staff. I don't think I could do that. It's part of the job. And I give them major props for being able to handle all the kids and then teach them to the levels that they're at. And we've got some amazing programs that also elevate what is going on in the after school program. So we've started a club academy in some of our counties, and our goal is to have that in all of 9 counties in the next year or 2. And Club Academy is where we've hired some counselors to go into the school and pulled our club kid out of class to help them with their reading or their math. And there was a story out of Pitt County where a child went into, I believe it was 4th grade, and was reading at a 2nd grade level. And with the Club Academy success, they went from a 2nd grade reading level to a 4th grade reading level in 1 calendar school year. That's so awesome. We know, and that's nothing extra money. That's just us trying to better the children, because we want these children to grow up and do whatever they want, no matter what they've been born into or what they have to deal with. we want them to make sure that they have every type of tool to be successful. So
I love that so much. I was going to ask you for a success story next, so that worked out perfectly. Share
yeah.
with us also, you told us, or maybe it was just me in a conversation or in a meeting, I can't remember, but you were talking about an 18-year-old who had graduated and everything, but still like would leave or was getting ready to graduate, but would still leave the high school and come straight there no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so the kids know, I mean, teens. So we mentioned the $250, but I'll let you know a little secret that anyone from 13 to 18 is completely free for membership for our after school program, because we know teens, Lene, when you got your first keys, to your first car, you could go anywhere and do anything you wanted, but did you do the right things? Hopefully you did. And
Absolutely.
right. And we didn't have Snapchat or anything back in the day, so that we didn't get caught on any social media platforms. But I mean, down in Carteret County, it's really exciting to see guys that are finishing football practice and still coming to the club because A, they know there's a meal there, and B, they know they can have help with homework. I was in the Havelock Club one day, and there was a basketball game happening a little bit later, and a bunch of the cheerleaders that are club kit members were hanging out in their uniforms, waiting to go back to the school. Now, once you get to the club, you're only allowed one entry, one exit. We don't let you come and go as you please, but our teens know that we're there to help them, and some of our teens look up to our site directors and unit directors as mentors and as parent figures. So, I mean, we have some amazing staff to the point where our staff is now seeing alumni that used to be club kids having their own kids and bringing them in. So it's just really cool, full circle moment. And these teens, I mean, if you give me keys to a car or an ability to not do the right things, our doors are open for them, and a lot of them have taken advantage of that, which is great for us. So we'd love to see someone check in a little later or leave a little early so they can go to their football practice or club or band or anything like that. And we really want them to do those activities because those activities come with some strict requirements of grades and things like that. But we know that if they don't have practice, they can come to our club at any moment because they're a member. So we don't see every kid all the time because of life and things happening, but we do see like 90% of the kids that are registered showing up within a week, depending on certain sports and things like that.
That's awesome. So we know that you help with the homework and that you have some extracurricular things. So tell us a little more. You said gardening, that kind of thing, but what, and do the kids get to like pick whichever one they want to be a part of, or do you assign them? And then what other kind of things can people think, like life lessons or skills, for lack of a better word, that you guys help them with?
Absolutely. So one of the staples in Boys and Girls Club is Torch Club. So Torch Club, you choose a president, vice president, secretary, and they are like their own little group in the club. And they're working on maybe a service project at the club, or, the story out of Havelock is their Torch Club is helping out one of the kids who's an entrepreneur who created a hot dog stand and then has created where they are going to festivals with their parents selling hot dogs and making some money. So that is a great staple. We have Youth of the Year candidates. So every club, we have Junior Youth of the Year and Youth of the Year. And this comes with scholarship opportunities. So Junior and Youth of the Year, they have to go through a rigorous process of creating a speech, memorizing it with no notes, and then standing up in front of their peers first and then their panel second. And if they get chosen to be a finalist, they're going to go up in front of 300 to 400 people at one of our banquets and give their speech. And then we'll announce the Youth of the Year winner for our district or our organization. That winner will then go to the state level. So they'll win some money here at the local level. They'll then go to the state level. And if they win there, they get even more scholarship money. So we've had some state finalists. We've had some move on from the states to go to national conference and things like that. So that teaches about a lot of public speaking, which again is something that is like lost art because of the cell phones. I mean, kids love to text and they love to tweet and they love to do all the things, but one-on-one interaction and in front of especially someone who's older than you has been lost. I mean, and let's see, a lot of these kids have grown up through the COVID ages where they missed out on some opportunities that we did not when we were kids. So those are two big staples. Garden Club here in New Bern is probably the biggest and the baddest. They have the greenest thumb in the whole organization. They've
Love
got 14 or 15 flower beds. Last summer alone, they donated to over 250 pounds of fruits and vegetables to their members or to the community. They've went above and beyond this year, and they are now have a beehive where they are working on harvesting honey. And the goal, which I did not know this, is to harvest blue honey because they planted a lot of blue and purple flowers around the hive, hoping that they will pollinate and create blue honey,
Is it like
which
literally?
yeah, it will be a bluish tint honey, is what I'm told. So
Oh,
if you do it well, I mean, Raymond here in New Bern has been phenomenal and has gotten that up and running. Now everyone else wants to see what Raymond's got going. And they took the garden club to another level last year where they created a cookbook with a grant, a Rachel Ray grant. The kids created their own recipes. And when I was there visiting one day, they were making zucchini bread from the zucchinis that they got out of the garden. And I don't know about you, but how many 9 and 10-year-olds are knowing what a zucchini is, where it came from, how it was grown, how do you process it to make bread, and then they're asking for seconds because they loved it so much. Like,
I love it.
that's fruits and vegetables right there, and that was awesome to see. And then they put that in the cookbook. And some of the recipes are open a can of beans, cut up a hot dog, but then others are pretty complex of making their own salsa and things like that, which is really cool. So every club has their own little thing. I mean, the Lego Club has grown really big where they're creating a whole city and building from the scratch. So if there's a want or need, the club directors allow them to have some freedom to do that. And then we've got some amazing Foursquare champions in every club and knockout champions in basketball, and kids are learning pickleball in some of them. So it's really cool to see that not only are they doing on the healthy habits on the eating and growing their own produce, but then also being active in the clubs as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. That is something that is a lost art, cooking especially. So I love that you guys.
Yes.
That's something that I love doing, and my kids love doing, but they're homeschooled, so we just we cook.
I
But the
love
average
cooking.
family does not do that. Like you said, they don't even
No.
have dinners together.
And I love cooking. Like, I think it's like relaxing for me, just to get home and cook a meal. And I now, because of work and having a 10-month-old at home, I do most of my meal prepping on Sundays. So I take about a 3-hour block and cook all my meals. And it's nice to eat fresh meals all throughout the week that I've prepared. And you can do it on a very tight budget if you need to, than just calling La Caseta, which is phenomenal, by the way. Like, but
Work sometimes.
budgets go out the window when you start ordering from Persimmons or La Caseta, twice a week or 3 times. So
Yeah,
yeah,
for
kids
sure.
are learning how to cook, and it's exciting.
So, what are some misconceptions that you think people have about the Boys and Girls Club that you would like to clear up a little bit?
I think, one is, I think everybody thinks of Boys and Girls Club if they know about it and thinks of like just one type of person, person that doesn't have parents or a strong parent figure, that they're very poor or that, they're just coming from a really bad situation. I've sworn to everybody that I work with that when my little guy Nolan is old enough, I'm going to put him into the club because I think you can learn a lot from others, but also it's a good interaction. And I trust the people here that are dealing with the children every day with my child. So I think, there's that stereotype. And let me name a couple famous alum for some people that maybe don't know, but I think everybody's heard of Michael Jordan, the basketball player.
Could be.
Yeah, he's, a very successful basketball player and now entrepreneur and does all of the things with all the businesses. He's an alum. Denzel Washington is an alum of Boys and Girls Club. Alex Rodriguez, the baseball player for the New York Yankees,
Mm-hmm.
he's an alum and on our board of directors now.
Wow.
Neil Diamond, the singer,
Hmm.
yes. President Bill Clinton and Brad Pitt have all been members
Crazy.
of Boys and Girls.
That's awesome.
So that's not just one type of person, that's a
Mhm.
whole group of people. And those are just a couple that I can name off, with some notes. But there's a lot more out there, and it's really exciting to get people in the movement and fund the mission across either in our footprint or across the country. And you've seen Boys and Girls Club, the knuckle logo
Mhm.
on basketball courts for some big tournaments in college basketball. They were running, I forget what award ceremony was, but they were running like, hey, if your speech goes over a minute, I'm going to deduct some money from the Boys and Girls Club that I'm going to donate. The host was doing that. I think that was it the Grammys or it was something last year? I forget, but
Oh, wow.
Academy Awards maybe. But
Mhm.
it's definitely a thing, and we're on a lot of military bases across the world, and then we're in a lot of towns. So you may not see the club because they're built to be in the neighborhoods that need us the most.
Mhm.
But we're working on that, and we've got some big plans coming up here
We're going to talk about
shortly.
it in a minute. Don't
Yeah,
ruin it. No, I'm just
I won't
kidding.
ruin it for everybody.
We're coming. So you already kind of hit on the after school program and what that
Yeah.
looks like. I'll be honest, when we had the conversation a couple months ago, I was a little perturbed that I had no idea about the summer programs, especially when my children were much smaller and I was in need of some help. So tell me about the summer programs. I know like we're kind of already halfway through the summer at this point in time, but
Yeah.
tell us about it, what the families can expect with the summer program.
Yeah, so our summer program is 8 weeks from the time that school lets out. We usually have a little bit of a buffer after school lets out to when our 8 week program starts. And we take usually a week around 4th of July because our membership usually is typically low. So we
Mhm.
were closed last week in the clubs. However, it's 8 weeks, meals, we call them brain games throughout the summer because,
Mhm.
again, we are not a daycare that is just watching your child. We want your child to grow and to also not forget what they learned last year and prepare them for the next school grade for next year. So 8 weeks, 8 to 5, Monday through Friday, field trips. They may be a little extra depending on what field trip they're going, but they're going to community colleges. Some of our teens will tour ECU, NC State, and Chapel Hill. They're also going to water parks and then some museums throughout the summer and aquariums and zoos. So each club gets to choose and put in their request, and then based on busing and everything like that, it gets approved by our senior leadership. So I don't know if anybody knows what summer camp could cost, but again, I'm just going off of some people that have told me. Um, $250 a week and only for a week, and then you have to go find another. So, Lene, I don't know if you had to do this, but like, did you have to okay, they're going to go to art camp this week, soccer camp next week, band camp the third week,
I'm gonna be
and like,
quite honest. I was broke, so it was VBS. I was like, I'll put this VBS to this
there
VBS,
you go. Right. You're going to that church, and that church.
and they
And
do it a lot.
were they full days or half days?
Half days, so
So
9 to
yeah,
12, and even recently I did volleyball camps with my kids, and they're
yeah,
fabulous, and they loved it. They were 2 hours. And so,
nice.
and then they were at different times. So it was like I was having to drop one off and pick them up at the same time and go. So it was like it gave me a. They're my older now, but at the same time, it like
Maybe
really
like
it
a
was for
one
them. It
hour
wasn't for
window.
me.
Yeah. So you drop them off in the morning at 8 a.m. and then you come pick them up at 5. That's a typical work day. And the cost, drum roll please, is
Mhm.
$250 for the full 8 weeks. And that is for all week long, every week for 8 weeks, $250.
You cap it,
So,
don't you?
huh?
Do you cap it again based on what?
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, so if you have 6 children, you're going to be capped at that $400 or $500. Each county is slightly different because of the demographics and the size of the club. But I mean, we are pretty full. We're always available that if someone needs us, we can probably make it happen. But I mean, we covered 9 counties from Beaufort, Craven, Carteret, Martin, Lenoir, Pitt, Greene, and Wayne County, and then in Hosky in Hertford area. We opened up a club this summer for this because there was a nice endowment that was donated to us to start a club there. So 8 weeks for $250, and some people were paying $250 for 1 week, but only 2 or 3 hours. So, and meals are included. And over the summer, they get hot meals every day from each school district or from our caterer. So they're getting good quality nutrition every day and doing all the fun things. So it's really exciting. And this, if you ever are interested, anybody listening, the thousands of people listening today to this amazing award-winning podcast.
I got it from my mom, that award.
Yeah, there you go. I challenge everybody to come do a tour over the summer because you'll see how happy these kids are and how much they're doing. And again, it's not a drop off. They're doing brain games. They're doing STEM activities that are programmed. You're going to go to here for arts and crafts for a couple hours. Then you're going to move over to sports, and then you're going to go over to another, maybe a STEM project or something. So our kids know how many rubber bands it takes to blow up a watermelon and why that happens. They know how last summer I saw.
How many?
It depends on the size of the watermelon and what kind of rubber bands, because they tested them all. I was not there
Did they
that
just
day.
wrap it and then it just explodes at some point?
Yeah, so you keep putting rubber bands on it, and then they know why, the science behind it expands. Kids last week made ice cream at the club, and how that is, I mean, how many people know how to make ice cream? I did that when I was a little kid, but it's been a long time. So they know how to make ice cream. They also created peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Sound difficult, but like you had to, Lene and I, you'd be my partner. I would write directions to how to make a peanut butter jelly sandwich, and then you have to follow them the next day, word for word or line by line. You couldn't deviate. Some of them were very talented and were better than IKEA furniture, instructions with pictures and words. And others were slap peanut butter on a bread, slap the bread together and eat it. And I don't like jelly. So I left jelly out. But it's really cool to see the kids thinking and kind of work their way through those types of problems. And each week is a different theme over the summer. So there's Adventure Week, and then all of the programs are based on adventure, and then other weeks thereafter. So our staff create some amazing programs to keep them entertained. So some of my friends now are sending their kids.
Have in the summer, would you say?
Mm-hmm.
How many children are usually enrolled in the summer programs?
Yeah, so in our New Bern site, don't quote me on this, I believe we have 100 kids. About 60 or 70 are our elementary, and then about 30 or 40 are our teens. And here in New Bern, Havelock, I think there's 60 because that's the max they could go in Havelock Club. And then we have clubs all over. So bgccp.com is the best place to find the local club, and then to enroll online or to ask questions can help you get to the right person. Or you can reach out to me and I can get you in touch with the right person for you to talk about it and explore it more for summer or for after school.
That is awesome. So that's like about 100 kids-ish at the one in New Bern up here. So bringing that up, I didn't get to, so for Keller Williams does Red Day. And what that is one day in May, all of Keller Williams across the entire nation shut down, and we give back to our community somewhere where we've seen a need. And so this year for Crystal Coast, Keller Williams, New Bern, Keller Williams, Washington, to Greenville, I think Greenville did too as well, right? Yeah. All of the Keller Williams shut down in May, and they all worked at a Boys and Girls Club. I went to Washington that morning, and then I had appointments that afternoon and couldn't make it to New Bern. Mm-hmm. But I didn't think your facility in New Bern currently, just from the outside looking in, didn't look like it could hold that many people. So I guess it's space.
So we are at a church currently. So we used to be at a old nightclub in downtown New Bern that was off the beaten path. No one really knew where it was. It wasn't the best building. and we grew it. Raymond did a phenomenal job of growing the membership, so we needed a new place.
Mm-hmm.
So we moved over to a church off of Broad Street, and our littles are under one roof. The elementary is on the third floor of the church, and they've graciously opened up their doors to allow us to operate out of there. And then our teen center has the garden and the bees, and then has a kitchen for them to cook and stuff like that, and then some classrooms upstairs. So they've been phenomenal. We have a short-term lease, or it's going to be probably another year now, because we have some plans for the New Bern area.
Yeah, so let's do that. Tell me. You don't have
Yeah.
the permanent location, but what's coming?
So we have permanent land. So our senior leadership and staff bought a piece of property. It's at the corner of First and Broad Street. So if anyone is familiar with the Stanley White Rec Center, that's brand new, and that beautiful fire department downtown, we are on that corner right by the Day Spring Church. We bought it from them, and it's a little over 3.5 acres, I believe. We bought it last July, and we will be breaking ground hopefully in the next 4 to 5 months, and building a foundation and building a brand new club there. So we currently serve 100-ish kids, and we're looking to get that up to 250 members for that new club. And
That's
New Bern is centrally located across our 9-county footprint. Yeah, I can get pretty much to all of our clubs minus 1 or 2 within an hour. So it will be a really nice jewel. Our CEO calls it the crown jewel that will be built here. And this is called our Building Better Futures capital campaign. So we've launched this 2 years ago. It's $35 million. We're in the 25, 26 million already raised as quiet. So we are going to go public with that campaign here shortly. And that will be building a site in Beaufort, North Carolina, New Bern, North Carolina, and a third site in Greene or Lenoir County. So it's really exciting. And all of the clubs will get money from that capital campaign to improve either furniture, programs, or new staff to elevate the programs we already have.
That is awesome. So why do you think it is so important to have a permanent facility here?
Yeah, so like I said earlier, all of our clubs used to be in the communities that needed us the most, and it's difficult when someone like myself who lived in New Bern for a couple of years and didn't stumble across the club and didn't even know that it existed here until I helped Trey and Laura McGovern donate a bunch of Christmas toys to the club. So having a staple in downtown New Bern where everyone can see is going to be amazing for A, recruiting our members, B, for the private philanthropy. They're going to see that new building and want to be like, what's that? And then we also let people use our buildings for the community. So if you're having a community party, or there's you want to do a soccer tournament on the soccer field that we may build, like, we allow that to happen with very small fees, because we want all the kids and anyone to be able to use our space. So if we have a nice room and Lene's team grows to 20 people and she wants a little training outside of her office, she can call us up and you can use our facility. So it's really good to have a place, and we want to be in the communities that we serve. So that area is also in an area that kids can walk from those neighborhoods to our club and get picked up pretty easily. So
that is awesome. I've seen like the renderings and stuff of what it might look like. So what features are planned that you're super excited about in the new facility?
Yeah, so of course, Boys and Girls Club will have a beautiful gym. That is a staple because kids love to play basketball and do all the things. And so that will be nice to have, because there's not a lot of gyms that are open for people and for kids that they have to pay for things like that, so they'll be available there. They're still finalizing, so I'm not sure if it's going to be a 1-story or 2-story yet, but from the first original, there will be a nice, huge field to put a soccer field on outside. So there's not a lot of fields downtown for people to use. It's also going to have hopefully a nice boardroom for our donors and our board directors to come in, and our advisory boards to meet. And then some office space, but then a ton of great classrooms that are going to be broken out for the sciences and all of the things. And it'll be state of the art, up to date with, bathroom ratio. So we're not using just one small office or one large office with like one little bathroom. We really take the safety into it. So like community bathrooms are really out of touch in these days. And when schools build their new stuff, they have single bathrooms off of each, classroom. So we're going to do that to the highest level. And then the teen club is going to be amazing. Like our Jack Minji's location has a podcast room and has a printing room where they can make their own shirts. And we've partnered with like Old Navy that brings in some shirts so they can screen print and things like that. So the teens get to do a lot of cool things that are kind of in with them, or I mean, giving some kids some podcast equipment and letting them go with it, or plugging in a guitar and playing some music. And it's kind of more of a lounge and laid back, because we know teens can have their own opinions and they're getting to be adults. So it's nice to have that kind of stuff. So it's really cool to see. And I'm excited to be a part of this and see it come from the ground up.
Yeah. So if you were to break ground in the next 4 to 5 months, like you're hoping, what is the estimated time of completion for the build?
Yeah, I've got a real estate background, so when a contractor tells you one thing,
Add more.
it will be. Yeah, we hopefully will have all our permits in order and in check, so when they build, they'll just go straight up and out. But the turnaround from a contractor's point of view is 10 months, but I would say probably 12 months from the day we move dirt to the day that we can move in.
That'd be
So
awesome.
within a year and a half, we should have a new club here in New Bern, and the Beaufort Club should be operational. They've already broke ground, and that should be operational December, January. So yeah, so hopefully we'll have a nice ribbon cutting down in Carteret County, and we'll do a groundbreaking here in Craven County within the next couple months.
That is super exciting. So how can our community as a whole help make this dream become a reality for you guys?
Yeah, so Building Better Futures capital campaign is up and running, and people can donate to that. But we also are in our annual campaign year over year. Staffing over 200 people and 22 clubs costs, and we do bus a lot of our children all year long. So everyone can feel that gas tank and dread going to the pumps right now. So our annual campaign is just over $10 million for the year. And because I mentioned it's $250 for a child to be a member and go to our after school, it costs us roughly $2,000 to $2,500 for every child to be a member. So that is a deficit that we're working with. And we do a lot of grant writing. We have a phenomenal team for grants, but federal and state grants can come and go with different people in office, and with budgets not being passed, we've freaked out at points of, are we ever going to get that big grant? So Goodwill has partnered with us this year for $1 million, and it's been amazing to see them step up and help us because they know what we serve and how we do it. But private philanthropy is my job. So if anyone's interested in donating to the cause and funding our mission, by all means, please reach out. Show up to our events when we have them. Events are a great way for us to get the word out, but also to raise some dollars. But it's really the private businesses and individuals that see what we're doing by taking a tour and then helping out that way. So that's the treasure part. And then we have time and talent. The talent is if you have a unique set of skills or just are interested in helping out a little bit more, we rely on volunteers. Every county has an advisory board. So I run the 3 advisory boards in my counties. But Craven County, we're looking for some new blood on the board to fill it up. We've got amazing people that have been on the board for decades that have all the knowledge and the experience, but then we're looking to connect with others. So an advisory board member will meet once a month for an hour. And then the goal is if Lene joins, I would talk to her and she would find hopefully 5 friends or businesses that would like to donate at some level. There's no donation requirement. There's no, but as an overall board, we have goals that we're trying to meet so we can keep our doors open for every kid because we are expanding. We are the largest in North Carolina now as a 9-county, 22 clubs, but we don't want to ever have to be in a situation where we have to think about closing a club anymore. So we want them to thrive and we want to grow and help as many kids. So we currently serve over 2,000 kids across the footprint, and we are hoping to get to 3,000 or 3,500 in the next couple of years. And that's through private donations. And then the time is volunteers. We're always, if you would like to volunteer and help out our staff in the club, we have some great volunteers that help with the garden and things like that. But we've also had some people just come out and read books or help with arts and crafts. So we love the time, the treasure, or the talent.
Oh, that's awesome. So are there any upcoming fundraising events that you want to tell us about that people might could attend?
Yeah, so we are going out on the limb. This is my idea, so I'm hoping that it is phenomenal. But September 18th, which is a Friday morning,
Mhm.
we are doing a sporting clay shoot. It's
Oh,
called Clays for Club Kids. It's going to be in Washington, North Carolina. It's a great facility. The owner's amazing. It'll be that morning, and we're going to be doing shooting clay pigeons or clays out of the air, raising money. And then our biggest one that is the coolest is called Denim and Diamonds.
mhm.
And that is a blue themed, come as you are in denim or get dolled up with all the bling. But Diamond Shoal Jewelers out of Morehead City has been a great host sponsor for us. We auction off some 5 live pieces of jewelry and some experiences, and then we have over 50 silent auction items. We'll have dueling pianos, full bar, full food catered by the Flame, and that's either a ticket or a table. So Denim and Diamonds is really the cool and one of our signature events for the year, and that will
Mhm.
be November 13th down at the Crystal Coast Civic Center.
Awesome.
So we'll have stuff posted here shortly about that, and
Mhm.
we're looking for some sponsorship or some table purchases. And every dollar that comes to us, we've been operating around a 78 cents per dollar goes directly back to the kids, which is extremely high compared to some other nonprofits that are in the 40s or 50s. So
That's awesome.
really, we are looking to hit our goals and exceed them so we can keep moving and keep funding this mission and keeping every blue door open for our more members.
I love that so much. Is there any one area that you guys need more help in right now than another? Or is it all just across the board, like whatever, I need everything?
I mean, we're not going to turn anything down. Like, I
Mhm.
mean, to be honest, we have the resources to handle now. People like, here's a jug of water. Can you use it? We can figure out a way to use it, but we also know that we can buy things in bulk or through some local partners that you buying a case of water for whatever dollar amount, if you donated that dollar amount, we could probably extend that dollar a little bit longer or a little bit further. But I mean, we're not going to turn any idea down. And really, the advisory board, if I can find 3 more people for each county in all 9 counties, I think our advisory boards would be great then. And with new ideas and new blood coming, it always re-energizes the group. And
Mhm.
we've got some lofty goals. So I think advisory boards, and then of course the private philanthropy is definitely something that we can use because it costs, as everyone knows, it prices aren't coming down; they're going up. So we have some great partners that we can buy things through, but that would help us out tremendously.
Well, that's awesome. Well, we are just about out of time. So I'm just
Yeah.
going to end this with one more question for you. But if someone was watching today, only remembers one thing from this conversation, what do you want it to be?
I want it to be that we are open for anybody who needs us. And if we're not the right resource for you, we have other resources that we can share. So we want to be a part of every community and be available for the people that need us the most. And we do not want any child to be in an unsafe environment or to not thrive. Children are born into this world with whatever circumstance they may have, and we want to combat and help out. We're not taking place of any parent or anything or grandparent that's taking a guardian. We're just here to help so the children can thrive and be productive, caring, and responsible citizens, because eventually they're going to run this country at some point. And I mean, I'll challenge anybody in our organization. We don't know who the next Michael Jordan or President Bill Clinton or Alex Rodriguez will be. And they all saw value in Boys and Girls Clubs. So I feel like there's definitely people out there that could see some value from us and let us help you.
Awesome. I love it so much. Well, thank you so much, guys. Is there anything else you'd like to add before we sign off here?
No, Lene, you're amazing. Thank you for the golden hour. And are you going to tell us about another listing of yours?
I don't have a thing, but it's almost like I hate this so much. I sat down. I was like, okay, we got everything together. No, I do not.
Well,
yes,
you're always the best co-broke on the other side of things. So I loved working deals with you. And
here. So if you do, it actually hit the market today, but it's 109 Colonel Burgwin Drive in New Bern. It is one of the townhouses at the beginning of Taberna that do not come up often at all. It's the one right in front of the historic battle ground. I can't think of what it's called right now. My brain just left me. But it's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths. It's over 2,000 square feet. It's actually gorgeous. It's about 20 years old, but when you walk in, it looks like it is brand new. Let's be real. 20 years ago building versus it's fabulous.
What's the price tag on something like that?
$449,000.
That's pretty good.
It is. Got a 2-car garage, open floor plan, a downstairs primary suite, a loft area for could be like an extra family room kind of thing upstairs. Has a screened-in porch. It's all brick. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous.
And with Taberna Country Club being bought by a local owner, there's some big plans for that to get better. So
yeah, and so he's got some serious good plans, and he just recently got new chefs over at the country club. He was sharing with me the other day, one of which he's all over Facebook. And
right, isn't it Vincent?
It is Vincent.
Yeah.
And I've heard he is phenomenal.
Have you ever had his Italian meatballs?
I've not had anything. I've just seen the pictures.
Oh my gosh, that's good food right there. So.
That's what I've heard. And so he has gotten on board over there and is getting ready to revamp some stuff. So it's super exciting.
And the golf course plays phenomenal. I played there a couple weeks ago, and it's in perfect condition to play. So awesome. It's open to the public after 1. So that's a great listing. Then I feel like those townhomes never come up.
They don't. I was trying to look them up, and I was like, literally, they're never on here. And so, I mean, it is beautiful. Yeah. So look it up. It's on the hot sheet. Bring me a buyer. Let's sell a house while we're at it. That'd be wonderful.
Let's make that work out. So.
We can do it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Everybody, you have a great week. We'll see you next week. And if you need anything, give me a call. I can get you in contact with Scott on how to donate, how to volunteer, what they need over there, or if you want to sign your kiddos up. I mean, it does sound like a fantastic program. And so, yeah, I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Scott.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Yeah, you too. Bye, everybody.
Sunset falling on the news so slow, where the train went home and the stories flow. From Tryon Palace to the streets we roam. Yeah, this place ain't just a town, it's home. Yeah. This is a golden hour, where the light hits right, where New Bern shines in that coastal light. Every voice, every story, every dream out loud. Yeah, we're lifting up this city proud. This is the golden hour. Well, it ain't golden.